introduction that I've ever given, Roger.
Was waiting for some kind of poke fun or something like that, man. That was like the nicest thing you've said. That's an intro. All right, I don't even know what to
The
say.
island wore off on me. It made me a softer, more gentler individual.
Yeah, you've been
We
on the
know,
beach.
we all know that ain't gonna last very long. Shit.
All
Just
right,
give him 5
let me
minutes.
get to work.
All right, guys. So, so just kind of piggyback. I was watching kind of who's on here, who was on 2 weeks ago when we did our call together, and it looks like it's almost, you know, probably like a little half and half. So what I want to do is just do a quick recap, probably like 5 minutes or so, just whoever wasn't on the call. That way they're not completely lost. One of the things that I want to do is I want you guys to have a takeaway, but I also want to have a couple takeaways for Sean and myself. We are really kind of committing to a couple things in the next probably month that are big for us, big for you guys in regards to content. One of the things that why I probably haven't been on as much, obviously we're working on constantly working on strategies. And one of the things that I keep getting feedback on is that it's good content when we jump on here and we talk, right? And we talk about different strategies. We kind of give recommendations. We even at times jump on some of your guys' projects just to share. But it's so much content. It's almost like drinking from a fire hose. So a lot of the feedback that I've been getting is there a way to kind of organize some of this information, right? More in a strategic manner where it's like, where do we start? Where should we kind of follow? Is there any way we can do that? And a lot of our recordings or trainings, you know, we upload them to the website. You guys have full access, but they are, and it is true, they are kind of, you got to look for certain topics, you know, when they happened. So what Sean and I have committed to is we're going to start building out some content and putting that out more on our YouTube channel. So what I wanted to do is I'm going to go over the White Spark local search ranking factor sheet. I'm going to put it in the chat here, so whoever doesn't have it has that. But I also want to get some feedback. I want to go back to how Sean kind of started the call with some wins, but I want to talk about your guys' website, your guys' SEO. For some of you guys that are working with us are doing extra stuff. What you got going on, any questions? And for those of you that might have a little bit newer, what have you done? What's going on? And what would you like to see, or what would you like to know, right? So I'm going to pick a couple of you guys' brains just to kind of get some ideas, because I wanted this to be valuable for all of us as we built this out. That way it's something that's a little more organized, and it's not going to be a complete course, right? But there's going to be content that'll be put out there that you guys can go back to, and we can actually easily find and send over to you guys. So with that said, I'm going to start off with sharing my screen here and actually putting a link in chat for those of you that weren't here. You'll have the link to this. Give me 1 second. Let me take this link right here, copy it, and we're going to pop it into chat here for everyone. There you go. Now, let me quickly explain what this is and why it's important, why all of you guys should have this available to you guys. You should look over it just to kind of get some ideas. Again, whether you're working with us at a higher level or not, this is still very important. This changes every year. And this document for me becomes very important because this is I can't do this amount of testing. So this document really gives me a benchmark on things I should be looking at. Are things still working that we're utilizing within our campaigns? Have things kind of taken a back seat based on the data that's being shown? And I, you know, to a certain point, I do take it as a guiding light, not that this is the do all information. So with that said, I'm going to scroll down. What we went over 2 weeks ago, we looked at these buckets here and what they are: Google Business Profile signals, on-page signals, review signals, link signals, behavior signals, citation signals, and personalization. So all of this right here. So these, 4, 5, 6, 7 buckets here. is what drives your Google Business Profile and your organic, basically your website rankings. So having this under the hood information and data to kind of look at yourself and just have at your fingertips is huge. It's a big benefit that a lot of people don't look at. And this is a blog. This is essentially a report that WhiteSpark puts out every year. They're now known for this, but this is a very good free document or piece of information that you guys should have again at your fingertips. But we're going to scroll down a little bit, and we're probably going to cover these we covered in very detailed 2 weeks ago with the team that was here. But you kind of look at the most important things that you guys should be looking at. Again, why I kind of harp on the Google Business Profile quite a bit. I mean, these signals are ridiculous. The way we're kind of looking at them, everything that really matters for the local pack is the attention or the traffic that drives that. So that spans from the website as well. So if you do have your website there and you're like, well, how am I going to drive those signals? How does it actually connect? Well, it's those city pages, those location pages. Someone just off the top of my head, just because she's on here, I don't think she was on here 2 weeks ago, but someone like Sigol, I've worked with her for a couple years now. And one of the things that we noticed when we started a while back was that, we put a lot of work into the location pages, and then all of a sudden her Google Business Profile, without doing really anything, started ranking along with those organics. So this signal has continued throughout the years, started kind of giving a lot more power, basically the traffic that's happening on your location page, and we embed the actual Google Business Profile map on there, has a big weight. Now, the on-page signals, this absolutely relates to what you're doing on your location pages, actually what you're doing with your entire site. But I always talk about the location pages because we're talking local. So if you're someone like Chris and Sal, right? You're doing Katy, Texas, or Houston, Texas, you better have that location page on there. The other thing that we're starting to see that's not on here, but I'm seeing it on other reports, is we really kind of put a lot of weight and a lot of time and a lot of education that we kind of teach you guys on these location pages, what to put on there. But what I'm seeing as a trend and as a way to also kind of push different types of signals and authority over to these location pages, Google Business Profile as well, is services pages. So some of the stuff we started doing this past year in 2022, now going into 2023, is talking about going back, taking steps back and revisiting the customer journey, revisiting the avatar who we're actually targeting. Because once we identify those items, now we can start adding some of these new signals, some of these new factors, right, to our website if they're not there, or if we need to make adjustments. Essentially, again, going back to Chris and Sal, they've kind of looked at a number of things where they're going after, the probate, right? It's like they're looking for probate homes, but they've also experimented on the other side of being a senior transition specialist in real estate, right? The real estate senior transition specialist. So that's a very specific service, and the probate side is a very specific service. So one of the things that I want you guys to go back to your website, and this is something that even if you are working with us at that higher level, we're focusing on your location pages, your Google Business Profile. We might not know that you're trying to kind of break into a certain niche of the niche, right? Essentially some kind of topic that you're going after. And we should, if you are, then we need to kind of evaluate, probably have a meeting with you to see if we need to build those type of pages. For those of you that are doing it on your own, it's time for you guys to go back and kind of wipe off those cobwebs off that website. Look at your website, look at your location pages, see if there's even a service tab on your site. Because when we build them out, it's all driven by what you have at that time, right? So if it's been a while, you haven't looked at it in a while, and maybe there is a service tab, but it's very generic, meaning you click on it and it kind of maybe has a list of what you can offer, or maybe it does have some pages, because in our structure, our website structure, we do have like 3 different services that we automatically add on there, but I'm going to tell you that something right now that we put very general information on there. So you got to go back and see if you do have some of those pages and make sure that you do kind of start looking at your avatar and making sure you have service pages for those avatars. If you don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to avatars, your ideal client, right? Who are you going after? What kind of situation is this person in? And that's those we built when we kind of can identify who that ideal person is. We call it avatar. Then we can start kind of creating content around that. And now you guys have been, I'm looking at the list here. Some of you guys were even at the event in Arizona. You guys can create these pages as well, at least get starting points using AI. So that's another thing that's on this document, kind of showing what are the different ways a lot of these local kind of agencies, local type of digital agencies like ourselves, how are they using AI, right? So I'm going to go here and go down. So a lot of us SEOs, and I was looking at this like, yeah, we're actually leveraging a lot of these topics internally, and we're looking to even double down on some of this stuff. But it's, you know, creating content that's eventually then edited by a human, right? So that is a big kind of asterisk. But you can have a great starting point. I think it was Sal that shared with me at one point, I think it's back in Arizona when we were at that event, that he was easily able to create probably like 20 different FAQs, if I remember, in the probate niche, right? We're looking for topics, different ways to really kind of leverage how can we continue talking about his niche, right? Where he's in, because at a certain point you run out of ideas and you do a little bit of research and there aren't a lot of ideas, but you still have to create, you know, topic relevance around your website for that niche or for that niche of the niche, right? In this case, probate. So he came up with 20 different topics. That's easy. Now he can go and generate an outline, generate, a generic kind of like blog post if he needed to using AI. So that's one of the ways that you guys can kind of quickly leverage ChatGPT or any different AI tool that you might be using to start the process in creating these service pages. At that point, all of you guys have access to our support team. You can put it on a Google Docs, send it over, and then we'll go ahead and add it as we see fit, right? Obviously, we'll kind of consult with you to make sure it's going on the right places. But other than that, guys, that's one of the big, a lot of this stuff has not changed. Some of the stuff has been adjusted. There's new ideas, right? There's new tools, AI. We were not talking about this last year. We were experimenting with some available AI tools on our team internally last year, but once they got, released ChatGPT, it just changed the game completely for all of us. And now on top of that, there's more tools coming down the pipeline that we're all going to kind of keep our eye out on and see where it is. But I can continue to build on this, and I think that's why I get the feedback on. I wish there was kind of like a map, some kind of map that we can follow, that we know where to start, because everybody here is at different stages in the game when it comes to your digital marketing and what you need next. So that's why Sean and I have decided to kind of start moving towards that. Hey, we need to start kind of really taking serious our YouTube channel and start building these playlists and these videos so they can be very organized for you guys to find. But at the same time, some of you guys need to know where you're at. So I mentioned AI, I mentioned the service pages, but some of you guys might need to audit your site, and there might be some more foundational things that you need to address. For example, one of the first things that you should address is, number one, your about page is probably one of the first things that you should be seeing, right? Or go see. So checking very, very kind of like fundamental or foundational pages first before you start even messing with this other stuff, right? So go check your about page. If it still has the content that we put in there, you haven't done any edits, I recommend you go back in there and you put your story, you put your mission, you put, who you're trying to help and why, right? Put those things in there and possibly even create a video that you upload to YouTube, and we can embed on that page. The second page, before you get into all this advanced service pages and AI stuff that I just talked about, you should be checking your how it works page. Okay. So about page and how it works. So those of you that are just kicking off, that are pretty new, those are the 2 pages you should really, really be focusing on first before you even touch any of this other stuff. Now, some of you guys are already more advanced. So if you got those pages dialed in, and then we also already have the location pages. Again, I'm speaking to those of you that might be working with us. Now, what I want to kind of push you guys towards is those service pages, because those are just going to be interlinking opportunities for us. So now kind of really identifying, do we have these pages? Are they on the navigation, on the main navigation, or at least in a place that we want them to be in front, right? In front of our ideal client. So those are the kind of different things that I wanted to kind of touch on, because I can continue again, why we're kind of really doubling down on the YouTube channel and why we want to build these playlists and kind of create this is because I can continue to drill all this, but I feel like it's so fragmented that it's becoming not, to a certain point, not beneficial for some of you guys, because now you got to go and find all this stuff when you have time, right? And you have to kind of dig through, these different conversations that we have on these calls. These calls go for an hour and we might have different topics we talk about. So finding the information, the nuggets that you really like are becoming very hard. So
Roger, question.
Go for it, Sal.
Two questions for you, Roger.
Go for
Number
it.
one, on this, I think it's great that you're focusing in on the about page and how it works, and then the service pages. What would be what's the service pages again? It just allows people to see what kind of services we provide. Is that all it is? I'm not saying that's all, but that's what it is.
That's what it, simplify it. I'm trying to simplify it. So that's all it is. Sometimes we overcomplicate it, right? So for you guys, where I'm imagining you guys have done a good job kind of identifying who you're going after, right? The probate kind of type people. Is there anything else that we should be knowing? Any type of terminology that you guys are fine? Because I know you guys are kind of tapping into something we haven't really tapped into with the senior transition specialist. Is there something we need to have there? And then we need to kind of identify, do we have it on the navigation bar? And this is more for everybody. That's why I'm kind of mentioning all this.
Sure.
You guys, in most cases, have that. But something, Sal, you should think about as well is going to be, is there anything else that particular probate, because we have the page, we have the landing page for you guys, but is there a different service that you're offering those people that needs its own landing page, right? So that's what at the level someone like you guys are at. It's like, is there any other beneficial besides, and I'm not talking about blogs, right? Because blogs, let me tell you the difference between blogs and the service pages. The service page is going to talk, if we're still sticking with Sal and Chris's company there, Ohana Legacy Properties, they have a landing page for probate. They say, hey, we buy probate houses. This is what we do. This is a landing page, right? This is all the info, how we can help you. Blogs are supporting questions, right? Supporting articles for that one page, and we interlink it to there. So we don't need another blog, right? Another landing page for probate. We just need to answer all the questions. So what you guys need to do, Chris and Sal, is basically look for, is there, and there, it might not be, maybe we just need to kind of, we're there, but you guys need to identify, is there another service that we might be missing, right? More opportunity. Go ahead.
What I'm thinking for him, maybe even if you've partnered with somebody who does estate sales, you could put up an estate sale page. Then anybody who comes on looking for estate sales, you can refer to whoever you're partnering with and get a referral fee off of that. And now you have a page that's also dedicated towards probate.
Yeah, those are things you can kind of mushroom this thing out. It's
I used to specialize in probate as an agent, so yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a service. The service page is probably something we need to do, because there's a lot of more that we can do that we're finding out as we move along. So thank you. The second question is on this White Spark, there's a graphic that says ranking factors group change over time. Okay. And what it shows is the GBT signals, the on-page signals, review signals. Just from looking at this, it looks like the link signals are going down. The GPT signals are still real high, even though they had a little slight drop over the year. But what seems to be going up is the on-page signals. So the question I have is, can you give us some examples of on-page signals and what we can do? That's not that complicated.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's actually, I'm glad you pointed that out and you noticed that, Sal. Because the on-page signals, in most cases, we've been drilling them for a couple years now, right? Adding local, like your own images, number one, right? Going out there and try to kind of take pictures of the actual location so we can put on your website. That's an on-page signal because it's a unique image of that location. Number two, creating a location video or, a video for the appropriate page. So that's another signal basically
Right,
that
the
you're putting
ones
out
that
there.
are geo-locked, right? In other words, yeah,
Correct.
okay.
Yep. And keep in mind, these are not just geo related signals, even though this is a local, basically a local kind of graph that you're looking at or a report, even your branded stuff is important. So basically you creating your welcome video, right? And making it public on YouTube, or just, things like that you have where you're kind of saying, hey, what do you do? And you're kind of mentioning your brand. Those are signals to your brand. Then we have the signals to your geolocations where you actually service people. So those are all important. So pictures, videos, correct keywords, right? Properly placed keywords. You guys notice that a lot of when you go to your pages, it says we buy houses, right? So obviously that's an obvious keyword, but keep reading down and all your headings, right? Before every paragraph, there's a heading. I try to kind of sneak in a keyword in there. That's optimizing
Okay, all
basically.
right.
Doing
Yeah.
that. So that's all on page SEO.
All right, that's good clarification.
And in
Thank
most
you.
cases, a lot of you guys have already that nailed down. Now, let's talk about the off page, what they're talking about, links. So that's an interesting one because that's debated all the time. And that can give you guys what it matters to us, right? What it should matter to you guys. So the reason I say that's going down is because in the past, us digital agencies or digital marketers were able to go out and just build links, meaning I can go to any blogger, right? As long as they had a high authority on their domain, they can be talking about ice cream, right? And I can get, a guest blog put on there and link back to your website. And it's not topical relevant to your niche, right? But I was getting a high authority backlink. Well, Google's getting smart. Google's using AI to kind of identify all this stuff as well. So now what it's doing is putting a lot less value on the amount of links you have. Now it's putting more value on the relevancy of the link, right? So they
Right.
put more value. If you go out to a blogger that's talking about real estate or is talking about probate, or is talking about something within your niche, and you give them a guest post, right? You do a guest post or you get on their directory or something, and you get a backlink to your site, that carries more weight. So essentially you can beat out someone that has thousands of links and you only have 100. You can essentially beat them out because you have more topical relevant links.
Okay,
That's why
so,
they're
if
losing
I'm
value.
looking at this, as someone with limited time, which I know I have all the time in the world, and I'm looking at these 7 factors, I'm saying to myself, okay, it looks like GBP is the highest volumed factor. On-page signals is growing, it's good, and the review signals are pretty stable and they're good. Everything else seems to be going to a downturn. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I should just focus on the first 3,
Yep.
as because I'm playing with the market that's growing.
Correct.
So that's where I would want to go. So if we were going to do anything, I'd want to focus on those 3 rather than try to attack everything.
Correct. So reviews have always, and that's why, again, right, one of the factors that I kind of push a lot of you guys towards is those reviews. If you do nothing, get reviews. Because if you did nothing and you got reviews, you can compete, because most of those profiles, they are doing nothing and they don't have any reviews, or they have 1 review. So you can compete. But if you're doing reviews, if you're doing Google Business Profile posts, right, you're doing some posts and you're interlinking to your city pages or about pages, how it works, things like that. You're purposely interlinking. And then you're actually building, if you are creating videos and you're linking to your website and your Google Business Profile, you can potentially, those are all signals. So those are the easy wins that you guys should already be doing anyway. And as long as you're kind of staying consistent, and this is the key, a lot of you guys are doing it, but you might do it once and then that's it. What we're looking at here is consistency. It's like if you stay consistent, that's when you start kind of moving the needle and keeps moving up and up and up. is when we kind of do it once or we do it, for a month or two, consistent, and it drops. That's what, because it needs time to get momentum as well. So these
Yeah.
strategies all take momentum.
This is really important because I know in the past you've hit on a lot of this stuff. And like you said, it's like drinking out of a fire hose for those of us that are not familiar with this. But if we took each of these things and segmented them and broke them down,
Right.
give us examples, give us like 1 or 2 ways that we can utilize each of these things at a slow pace for us
Correct.
dummy. I think that'll be very beneficial for us. And then if we need help from the support team, we can do that, because this makes a lot of sense, because you can't fool data, right?
Correct.
You can't fool data. Data's there. And then, these things may change as
they do.
time moves on.
they will,
that's
and
okay.
they do, and they will.
Yeah.
And that's our job, to kind of keep this in front of you. Also for us to kind of make adjustments to our campaigns. But I'll go ahead and give you guys all a tip. I think I gave it last time I was on 2 weeks ago as well, but I'm going to go ahead and give all of you guys a tip. If you guys wanted to kind of test some of this stuff and really kind of jump on some of these opportunities for links, right? You want to go, not only do they have to be, because I said, and this is where it gets kind of, it depends, right? I said, hey, they need to be niche relevant, right? Topical relevance for in your niche. So maybe a guest blog for real estate. So it doesn't always have to be there. It could be a geo relevant link, meaning you can go donate to your local, animal rescue group, right? Donate $20, $50, right? And they'll actually add you to their sponsored page, for example, right? As long as they put a hyperlink back to your homepage or wherever you tell them, basically, you just got a geo-relevant link. Those are very local. Geo-relevant links are extremely powerful, especially for the Google Business Profile.
So what else could you do? You could donate to a local ASPCA.
Yep.
You could
So
do
that the schools are big. Schools are
Schools.
always looking for donations, right? So that's where I kind of think outside the box for donations,
Right.
right? Just so we can kind of look at other opportunities. Even your contractors. Some of these contractors have very low authority websites. Maybe they haven't worked on them very, very much. But guess what? If they're local, you might have to do a little bit of research, right? Because if they have a Google Business Profile, even though it might be horrible, but they're local, right? Maybe have a review or two. They got a website, something simple, boom. You'll be able to kind of take advantage of that local relevance, even though they have a lower authority score than you.
So I would challenge the whole group that, we have Discord. If you guys think of some of these geo-relevant links, maybe we could put them on there and we can all kind of play with them and see how that works. Build a library of these things,
The other one, Sal, and for everybody, and Bob, I see your hand up. You're up next. The other one I want to give you guys that's really simple is put local directories in Katy, Texas, right? Local directory in, Maui, Hawaii. Local directory in, wherever you're at. Put your location, and since you guys are sitting in that, assuming you're sitting in that area, right? You will get a list of those directories, and you start clicking, even though they might seem kind of small and stuff, they're local directories. Those tend to carry more weight than the national ones that we create for everybody. We have a list of national ones that we create, boom, just automatically. But those local ones are the ones that sometimes we don't hit just because they're more local to you guys. We just they're not on our list at that time. So for you guys to easily have some wins on your own, local directories are huge. So we'll go ahead and bounce over to Bob. I know he had his hand up here for a little bit.
All
Go for
right,
it, Bob.
so I'm looking like I pulled up my web page and it goes from the Google link. When you go, first thing you got to type out the whole freaking name, Real Props Residential Solutions, in order to find it first and foremost. I got that. I understand that that's part of the name and I got to deal with that shit. But the link that goes from the Google search, would it be better off to go to the about page, or is it best go into that first page, which is the, we buy houses, but that's the, we don't want to see that anymore type of thing.
Where are we linking from, Bob? Maybe I didn't get the first part.
Well, from the Google search.
Okay.
If I click to the web page from that link, it goes right to I'll just call it the home splash page, get your instant cash offer.
Yep.
Would it be better to go to the about page, about us?
Not necessarily. And you're talking about when someone types in your company name, is that correct?
Yeah, like straight from the search.
Yeah. So, and then you get that list of different kind of pages within your website or directories or something like that. Is that where we're at? Okay.
Yeah.
So that one you don't have much control of, as long as what you're after is that you own those first couple spots. It doesn't matter, even if it's your Facebook page, linked, it doesn't matter as long as it's you, right? So that's the most important thing. Obviously we want your website, and in most cases, if you've put enough authority on them, and you have a company name that's pretty unique, because sometimes you're using something that's a general word, right? And it's really hard to win those. But in most cases, we want your homepage to be the first thing that comes up, and then everything else after that, whether it be the about page or whatever. But the homepage should be the one that pops up first.
Yeah, because like if I look at mine, because again, I got to type the whole stinking name
Sure.
in, but the first like 7 are all me.
Gotcha. That's
But
good.
The title's this long.
Yeah. Unfortunately, once again, it goes back to the company name, right? So it's
Right.
it is what it is, but you are nailing it, and when it
Okay.
comes to owning your brand.
Thank you.
I see.
Before you shift, oh,
Yeah,
actually,
go for it.
Seagal's got her hand up, and then before we shift to something else, I want to share the screen and point a few things out.
Go ahead, Seagal.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Hi. So first question is, if there was a problem with, before there was a problem in putting reviews and Google My Business, has that been solved? Do you know?
We're not Google. We can't solve that.
Yeah, there's been a couple instances where we're dealing with that with a couple different clients, but it comes down to your profile itself. So you got to go continue to send in support tickets. That's the only thing that we've kind of seen. And they keep coming back as, hey, there's nothing wrong. And you got to keep hitting them till they stick. In some cases, you got to try different people to put those reviews. That's what happened with another client that we worked with. It was that we tried a couple different people, not the same ones that he was trying to get those reviews from. And for whatever reason, it stuck, which tells us they were either flagged or, the profile was flagged that it was coming from them. We don't really have an answer for that. That's still something that's a mystery.
So when I look at my Google Analytics, it is 0. However, my website is still on the first page everywhere. So is that important at all? Because I don't understand. Like today, the leads that come in are absentee owners, and what Sean was telling me maybe I need to do is put the service of how they can make keep $10,000 in their pocket. Is that what you meant by the service pages? I'm just trying to see, because Sean was telling me maybe I need to do something like that, which made sense. How they can save like $50,000 here in Hawaii if they're not using an agent. But is that the service you're talking about? Because then I need to put these service pages on. I don't have them.
No, not this. That's more kind of an offer that you're creating, right? The service would be more if you're focusing on, like Chris and Sal, we use that example as, my avatar is probate. Then we want to make sure that we have that probate page on there, because there's going to be a service tab drops down, right? And you got to have something there. What you're describing is more of an offer, which could potentially be a section within the homepage, maybe. But something like that would be more like you create the landing page. We mention it on the homepage, maybe, but it would be a strategy where you would have to kind of maybe essentially run maybe ads to that. It'd be a purposeful campaign that you're actually creating like a paid ad campaign towards it.
Yeah, because my avatar is absentee owners. These are the people who are calling in constantly, relocation, absentee owners. And then Sean really talked about that. And I was wondering if that could be some kind of service. And the last question that
Absentee owner. Yeah. Just so you know, a landing page for absentee owner, that's a service. Absolutely. I can't remember. It's been a while since I looked at your website, but if
Yeah,
there's not a specific page for that's an opportunity right there. That's a service page.
I think that's what Sean was kind of telling me last time, and it's really difficult. So it's actually both of you together is the best, because I didn't really know how to go about it, but that makes sense. So, and the last thing is affiliations, because a lot of people, even now, I just was with a seller and she wanted a title company. Is that the backlinks that you need that you were talking about? I just gave her the title company. I can tell her go into the website and the title company is there. Is that the backlinks you want, Roger, that you were talking about just before?
For example, you have an affiliate partnership with the title company and you're recommending a potential client to them?
Yeah, the seller needed to have advice of a title company, and it's a title company that I work with. And so I gave her the number, but is that possible to just put that title company as a backlink on the, and that is a local title company?
It
That
would
would-
not be a backlink if you're.
Not a
putting it on
backlink,
your-
not necessarily. It would just go on your affiliate page. If you have an affiliate page, I think we built one for you.
Yeah,
That title company should just be there. There's already a link to their website. So you're essentially giving them a backlink, which is fine, because they are an affiliate partner. So that's already set up that way. If it is, you're
okay,
good to
got
go.
it. So we need to add it. Okay, got it. Thanks.
I had
Alright.
a quick question. When you, in dealing with the Google reviews and everything, positive or negative, if you're giving your vendors reviews, to put a link to your website there, is that considered cheating, or do they frown on that? If you put a link to your website in your review?
In your review to somebody else's service.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty shady. If you
Yeah.
ask me.
Yeah, that could.
But if you have permission from them, does
Uh-huh.
Google frown on that? That's my question.
I wouldn't do it, Dominique. That
Okay.
that is, yeah, that
I
can
just-
come back and bite you.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Don't game the system.
It's a good one, but it's way too obvious, and they're cracking down on a lot of those methods.
All right, I want to share a couple things to reiterate Roger's points, because a few of you on this call, I have your site pulled up to share something. The problem is it should be all of you, right? And Roger hit something and then he kind of glazed by it and continued. And I don't know, maybe you drilled on it a lot harder. The About Us page, the How It Works page, maybe you drilled on those harder 2 weeks ago. But hands down, I study this data all the time. I look at this stuff like crazy. The clients that we're working with that have put the effort into these 2 pages are the exact same clients that are constantly telling me they're getting leads online. They're getting high quality leads. It's a warm opportunity. It's so much easier to deal with. Everybody else that I talk to that's struggling, if I go to your website, you haven't done a single thing. And I've been preaching this and Roger's been preaching this for years. So I pulled up a couple examples, because if you don't have these 2 fundamental components, in my opinion, on your site, I don't care how well Roger teaches you, turns you into an SEO expert, gets you to start ranking, gets you a bunch of organic traffic. Eyeballs is one thing, conversions is the next thing, right? So one that I would encourage you guys to go look at, Building Appalachia, jump on their How It Works page.
I
This
just dropped it in the chat box, by the way.
This right here is a phenomenal example. Don't worry about the design, the layout, and the color. And what I want you to pay attention to is this video right here. Watch that video. Jordan, I think you said you put Jacob on the spot when you guys shot this. It's not even like high production or thought out. You just kind of were like, dude, there's a whiteboard, shoot this video, right? Go watch it. It's a phenomenal example of what it's like to work with Building Appalachia.
I'm gonna try to find the blog post too. There's a blog that correlates with that exact page. So I'll drop that in the chat box too.
This is also something really good that I don't see enough of you guys doing. When you get reviews, How many of you guys are responding back? Couple hands, right? You should be responding to every single review that you ever get. Good, bad, doesn't matter, right? Another great example, and Phil, I see you're
Do
on
we
the
shoot
call.
Do we shoot those to you guys and have them added to the page, or?
Yeah, this is this was a screenshot when we were building this page for them. I think these are Google reviews.
Oh, I got it. All right. It's like a put onto like a
A bunch of screenshots laid
PowerPoint.
onto some, made one image out of it, and boom, popped
Got
it
it.
up as an image, right?
Roger. All right, I got
Yeah,
you.
I just got on my GMB page on my cell phone and screenshotted it and sent it to support and they just popped it in there.
Phil, RC Homebuyers, he's on the call here. Great example of a about us page. As without even playing the video, I can scroll through this page, and is it pretty safe to say we kind of know who Phil is? Right? Got some really good stuff. I love the personalized photos, the family photo. Obviously, he's bringing a lot of the military side of it in. But the video is even great as well. His How It Works page, I gave him a task earlier this week to make a better video for that, so I'll show that later. Chris and Sal, this is another great example. I think I've shown this one quite a bit to a lot of you guys, of an About Us page. I love the second that I land on this, that there's this mission statement of who Ohana Legacy Properties is and the mission that they're on, and it just kind of like hits you right out of the gate. But some really cool things that they've done, and I know you guys have gotten some feedback from people that have been on this page, this part right down here, about the partners. I think you guys worked on this last year when you were out here in May at the event here at the office, right? A bio breakdown of Sal and Chris and that amazing family photo, right? Really encompassing, especially when you understand what Ohana means. And then they're really bringing the whole family component into it. Jake and Marie, this is another good one to go check out from an About Us style. The page itself, they haven't done a ton. Marie was out here at that same event, and that's where this got worked on. You know, the individual bios of the two of them, but really watch the video. And really, you can go through Alora Homes website. Almost every page has a different video on it. They've been putting a lot of work on the video side of things on there. Roger was talking a lot about service pages, right? Military housing relocation is one of their services. This is one of those service pages right here. Lots of information, lots of detail. I love that they brought in a little bit more of Jake and the military side here. But same thing, video. I didn't open this one up. The Creative Selling Solutions. This is one that they're working on at the moment. There's like 3 different videos that explain the creative side of things, subject to wraps, seller carrybacks. They're starting to build a lot more content. We're slowly building this page out for them. But these are probably some of the top examples that I can say success leaves clues, right? Chris and Sal, they're doing a lot of stuff. Jordan, doing a lot of stuff. Marie and Jake, they're doing a lot of stuff. And we hear it all the time. Chris, you guys, may even be able to share some of the actual feedback that people have seen, just they were said to you guys when it was like, I love the fact that it was family. Those type of things, right? That's what comes from having that About Us page, the How It Works page, really dialed in.
Does it matter that they put my How It Works page as a drop down from my About Us?
I mean, ideally, no, it really doesn't.
It's just not obvious it's
Personally, I
there.
believe that I haven't been on your website to see your navigation bar. Roger, you might take a look at that, but I personally think the How It Works and the About Us should be pretty easy to see and get to, because we already know they're going to go there. We know they want to go there, so let's just make it simple for them.
Right.
It's
But like
probably
Chris
best
and Sal,
we
there's
figure out a way to move it to the main nav bar.
You guys built it. I don't know.
Yeah, when we add those, all of them on there, we're kind of looking to fit everything in there. But at this point, if you can do me a favor, can you send us support? That way it doesn't get lost in the call here.
Yeah.
And then we can put it in the main, just tell them, can you add it to the main navigation bar?
I wouldn't get so stressed on it though either, because like this is a great example here. Chris and Sal's is buried under our company with all of this stuff. And Chris, Sal, do you get traffic on it?
We got a deal from one just because of the abundance page, yeah.
Matter of fact, I know you get traffic on it because we fire postcards off of those 2 pages quite frequently on your postcard retargeting. So that's what I wanted to share, Roger. I don't know if you got anything else. We got a couple minutes. I do want to respect everybody top of the hour. If you got to jump. So if you guys got some questions, fire away.
I do have a question. Somebody contacted about trying to sell the voice search SEO. Now, is that actually a different thing?
Voice search
Okay.
SEO by itself might be a problem for you because voice search is basically based on the type of keywords that are on your website. Kind of navigational keywords for voice. It's even the we buy houses, or I'm looking to sell my house, or I'm looking for in your case, right, a property man, or I have properties and I'm looking for a property manager in my area. All those type of words we try to cover within just kind of us dropping them into the content. And that's basically what that company would do. Just so you guys know and not get scammed, what those companies would do, they charge you X amount, whatever they're kind of saying. They'd scan the website, your different pages, who your ideal client avatar is, and they'll put together keywords and they'll sprinkle them throughout your content. And in some cases, if those pages don't exist for whatever reason, then they'll create them. But it's nothing above that. It's just essentially a keyword project, which a lot of the keywords that we do already right out of the box for you guys already been done.
Yeah, I think they were selling paid per click on those, but instead, but yeah, I was just kind of wondering what the difference was on that and if it made a difference.
Well, you gave
Chris.
us some good homework to do, Roger.
Chris, you got your
Great.
hand up?
No, it's good. It's good.
Roger, I got a question for you.
Go for it, Chris.
You don't mind just briefly re-explaining. So let's say we donate to like a local shop or a local company. How do they get our website or link onto their website? I was a little bit confused on how they mix together.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be a little bit of you guys getting your hands dirty as well. Say you're going to purposely target certain, if you are going to do this as a strategy, right? I don't want to come off as a scumbag. Right? It's like, hey, I'm saying if you're going to do it as a strategy, then you got to target, you got to be intentional. So you got to go, for example, if you're going to target a nonprofit, go and go do your research, maybe do a spreadsheet, look for a nonprofit. You can literally do animal. I say animal rescue groups. A lot of you guys know that I used to work with a lot of them. You can do animal rescue groups in Katy, Texas. You'll get a bunch of them. Make a spreadsheet, go through them. Now your next step is to go through each one of their websites and check if they have an easy way to donate, if they have a sponsors page, right? Go to the sponsors page and see if they have all their logos. You guys have seen them. If you haven't, go look, you'll find them. And then the next step is, are they hyperlinking those logos, right? Because once you find those ones, and the easy one is to highlight the ones that do have, check all the boxes. Those are the ones you want to donate to, because they're going to add you to the sponsored page and they will give you a hyperlink automatically. And I know sometimes they have like the gold level, the silver level, whatever. For a backlink, it doesn't matter as long as you're on the website.
Gotcha. No, perfect. That makes complete sense now.
Okay.
Sponsorship for like teams as well. There's a lot of like veterans groups and stuff like that. I'm actually a sponsor on one of them, and I'm going to actually have them do that. I didn't know about doing that, Roger, so appreciate that.
Yeah, those
I
carry
just
a
saw
lot of weight.
Houston Mini Pig Rescue and Farm Sanctuary.
Hey, it's in Houston. Remember what I said? Doesn't have anything to do with real estate, but it's a localized geo-relevant backlink.
Bacon.
I know back in the day there used to be there was link swapping where you guys would cross backlink. Is that still then something that we should do with most of our vendors and things. Would that be helpful?
With your vendors, yes. Now, let me be very clear, because some of you guys might go and do some research and find that it's completely a black hat method. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm on video right now, so I have to say it is black hat method, which means it's against Google's basically rules, right? But nobody knows. So you can still do that. Say, Dominique, you reached out to us because we have a digital agency that focuses on real estate, right? And you're like, hey, I have a blog post that might kind of, be relevant to your audience. Here you go. And what I want in return is for you to, put a hyperlink. I even gave you the where to put it, and then give me a hyperlink. And if you want, I'm willing to put up guest posts that you provide on my website, and we'll swap backlinks. That happens all the time. And there's nothing.
I know at one point they frowned on it because it was getting way popular.
Yeah, no, it
So
still
they
is.
kinda-
It's still a
yeah.
thing, and it still
Okay.
works. And I don't.
Okay.
I will say this on camera. It's like there's no way they can stop it. It's still going to work in the in the foreseen future.
Anybody else got anything?